Above 200 feet, we do the turn. We've all practiced it. Just think about it. The fastest that we have in the air gliders on approach is 60 knots, but we're being told it's 65 plus. So we actually have extra energy by that point. And so we're fine. You got to do your turn. It's not a high yucca turn. All you guys this. We have plenty of energy, but we want to do the turn now. The turn, we're out here. We do our turn, but here's the next thing is, don't aim the runway like that. Continue the turn over to final. Do that reversal up here at altitude. Come on, do your landing. It turns out that more deaths occur in rope breaks, not this spot right here, but right there, by dragging the wingtip. Coming in and doing a low altitude turn. Okay, so you got plenty of energy. Just do this thing and come on down and land. I'm going to talk more about this later on, associated with max. That's enough for now. The next thing is we say above 500 feet, a modified pattern. What that really means is if you're above 500 feet and you have a rope break around here, you're going to be able to come back here and land someplace. And you probably have a dozen choices when you get back here. Doesn't mean that you will necessarily, if we're 500 feet right here, we might not be landing there, but we might be landing here, or on the taxiway there, or on this runway over here, or whatever. But the bottom line is, we have plenty of places to get back to and land on into the wind if we're above 500 feet. So it's not a panic situation. It's just a point that you have to recognize. I'm above 500 feet. Got a damn rope break. Won't be able to get thermal right away. You got to go back and waste half an hour of my time. But you're going to be absolutely fine. Okay? So we'll talk more about rope breaks later. Next thing I'm going to talk about is departures. Slips and skids. I didn't do slips and skids. I didn't think. It turns out I've always done slips and skids because it's part of doing the anthem and everything, pure landing and all that kind of stuff. But what's the difference between slip and skid? A slip is a control, cross control. You have the ailerons going that way and you rudder that way, so you're flying down sideways. And if you've flown with me, we've probably all done slips together, right? Especially the 103s, those things turn probably 45 degrees off when you come on down. Whether it's straight ahead slide slip, it's just a matter of where you're flying, where you head into. Your pilostatic system isn't working quite right because it's coming in from an angle. So just keep your nose position just a little bit lower than what you think it should be, and you're going to be fine. You're not going to depart out of that situation. You're going to be fine. A skid is when you put aileron in to turn right, and you put right rudder in to turn right. And now we do that because that's part of coordinated flight. But a skid is too much right rudder. Now, where would you do that? When you're trying to be very aggressive and or panic type thing, like i.e. right there. That's what happens. People, they step on it. Or overshooting the runway, and so you bank it up, and you kind of go, well, I want the nose to come on over there, so you step on the rudder tube. You don't bank it up and use the same rudder. That's a skid. And a skid, and if we've all done spins, that's what we do right before we go into spin, right? We slow on down and we just go that way and step on the rudder. Whoosh. We don't want to do spin entries at low altitude. It's not conducive for a long life. Okay, so that's where those things occur. Actually, for us, I think there's another place. So when we're up in the mountains, we're high altitude, but we're not high above the ground. And we're in the thermal. We're thermaling. When we're thermal, we get aggressive. We stall because you hit wind shear, so you just recover and get back to thermal, keep on going. But when you're in the mountains and you're low altitude, just think about this, you've got flight control, coordinated flight.
We have a strong headwind and we have a rope break of 200, okay, you will have to land with a strong
tailwind. Yep.
Tailwind, so
yes. Oh, I might as well talk about that right now. What I also talk about there is that we will go out of control during the landing rollout. And we will go out of control when our ground speed is equivalent to the tailwind. So we're flying at 15 knots headwind, and we come around and land the opposite direction. We will go out of control at 15 knots. Now the next thing is, we'd most likely have some kind of crosswind too. So what happens at 15 knots is that the plane will turn into wind, right? It's blowing on our tail. We don't have anything to do with it now, but we do have something we can control when we're going to run out, when we're going to go out of control. Okay, so what I talk about on this is that we're coming back to land. We've done our rope break. By the way, the most important part is done. We're back on the ground, so that's cool. But here's the wind coming to right this direction. We're landing this way. Just go ahead and land. Relax, you're on the runway. Now, we are going to run out of control when we get to 15 knots. So what we do is land us on the runway, but move on over this way. Okay? And time it. And you kind of go, okay, I'm going to wait until I'm past all this crap over on the side that I don't want to run into. And then right when you get over there, you put on the brakes, slow down, you're 15 knots, the wind's blowing that way, it's going to turn the plane like this, and you've got this much to try to see if the wheel brakes are going to stop you. They may or may not, so you're going to run off the runway over here to the place that you've selected. Now you might take out a couple lights from the runway, the little lights, but Jim's got more of them. And they break off. they are designed to break off. They have PVC poles. Those are not steel poles. The PVC, just take the light off. You got to fix it with some gel coat, but it's not going to hurt the plane. So don't worry about those. But the black things out there, the big things, the runway numbers and stuff, and the wind socks, you don't want to run to that stuff. That wrecks the plane. Okay? So, and it's just an interesting event, but it's like we don't have any control over it. We can control when we have no control. And if you're in the right position and have done this, you may be able to stop before you run off the road. It's kind of interesting when it happens, but it's pretty cool. Okay. Next, mid-airs. Where do you think your biggest threat is when we're flying glider? What's the biggest threat as far as mid-air goes? Which one? Another glider? Tow plane. Number one's tow plane. Just think about it. We're 200 feet away from this plane. Then we release, right? And the new guys all know this. I harp on them and say, where's the tow plane? Okay? So we're flying along. Tow planes. Which one's working? Tow plane's right there. He's turned this way. We are right here. We're doing it right. We're turning, well, we turn this way, right? If we got our act together, we're in a thermal, it's no problem. But there's lots of different ways. We turn this way. The tow plane turns this way. If he gets a little bit of a thermal, we get a little bit of a sink. We're exactly the same altitude. I've seen this plenty of times. And who sees the other guy? We can see. He really can't, because especially when he's in a left turn, he's looking up through his wing. He doesn't see this. So this guy right here, sometimes I'll take a sneak look right there real quick and I'll figure out where the tow plane is. I pretty much know where the tow plane's going to go, most of the guys, where we are and everything. But just on the spot, you need to see that that tow plane's going that way. Your job right here is to get in that thermal, but that's our mission, right? But we need to do our mission safely. The safe way is that when we get to this point right here, where is the tow plane? You guys heard me say that all the time. Where is the tow plane? Where is the tow plane? And your real thing in order to get into this safely is find out where the tow plane is, then you see it, now you know that you're clear of it. Okay? So
not turning and turning, but going on to the right. And come back for the thermal.
Oh, well, I want to stay in the thermal. I'm free. I want to get that thermal. I want to stay in it. But I get around quick. At this point right here, I'm looking for the tow plane. I want to pick up where the tow plane is. And first of all, clear that he's not going to be in this area, because he may have gone this way, then come back around or whatever. But I find the tow plane. Okay? He's our biggest threat. We are looking for all these other people flying around the air, and in reality, big sky theory, we can be blind. You know, I hate to say this, but we can fly around with blinders on for probably most of our life and never run into another airplane. There's the odds. We're not going to fly that way. But the tow plane is no kidding there. He's a real threat, and read through some of his accents, you'll find that they have a tow plane. Okay?
Maybe word for the tow plane pilots. Maybe there should be actually a reason for a tow pilot to do a 90-degree turn. What I usually do is dive down 90 degrees off, and then lift the wing and see where the glider is. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, you guys are the ones trying to circle. We shouldn't do any more than 90 degrees to see what
I agree. As Lance said, if you're above the tow plane in the altitude, chances are you're above our wing, and we can you're above the wing.
Okay. Next thing, other threats, pattern traffic. Now we have the power down there. We're up here. We know that we kind of build in that separation. But the bottom line is we both fly through each pattern. I fly through that pattern over there. I'll thermal over there, but I won't when there's powered airplanes. Okay, that's their spot. But I'm not going to stay over there if there's powered airplanes over there. Powered airplanes will fly through our pattern, but normally announced. I can't remember. Normally announced. So, but then we're back in the pattern too, or we're back close by because we don't have any thermals, so we're kind of trying to catch the last one right here, whatever. So when we're back near the airport, there's more traffic here. So we're clearing in a couple different ways. We're clearing with our eyes, we're clearing with our radios, with our ears, listening to where these calls are, and that's building our situation awareness. But we're also clearing with the knowledge of where we think the guys are going to be. They say, you know, we know there's somebody and he's going to be close, so he's probably down there between Bowles Acres and up here. And we know that glider said he was out entering 45 to downwind. So we kind of know that if he says that he's going to do this 45 then this downwind and turn on in. But we all have different distances away from the runway, so and then maybe he decides to do something else. So anyway, we're always clearing out there. With that, when you have passengers, I always brief the passenger that they're actually part of the crew too. So they see any airplane, period. They tell you where that airplane is, and with some of the younger folks, you have to teach them what ahead and what clock positions are. So, area traffic. When we come back here, light airplanes. Light airplanes fly IFR all the time, meaning I follow roads. Okay. So the airplanes are going to be flying down the highway generally, okay? And actually they fly to the right side of the highway, and the other guys fly the other side. That's how it is. That's right. You float all over the place, right? Follow roads. The other reason for that is that they have continuous landing spot all the way along. So so if you hear it on the radio, most of the people coming on by. Just transiting through, will just say that they're going through the area. So just be aware, listen to what they're saying, try to put in your mind where they are. They were 20 miles north. They should be down here in 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and try to figure out where they're going to be. Okay, Holloman traffic generally is not a major concern to us because they're generally not flying on weekends. However, sometimes they actually fly pretty close to this place. So actually, if I'm flying up during the day, F-16s are flying around, whatever, I actually go down the tower and let them know that I'm up there. And just give them some position reports. Just tell them your altitude, you're over Middle Island Board, or you're up by Colorado, whatever. And you guys fly up through this area.
You do it in those 163 flows right now, and runway 22 never shuts down. We have approaching the 25, which is basically flying about 2,000 feet directly over Island Board, up additional pitch on the land. So we do about 300 knots, and it's sort of the same thing in Blue, where we have another boat measure, nothing flying in the field, and we're not both off the radar, but we might not see actual radar, so don't assume that because I've got a fancy airplane that I can actually see where you are. You're actually really difficult
Yes.
Okay.
That's special homes that are typical altitude from power coming from El Paso over the road, altitude wise, altitude.
No, they're gonna be below 18,000 feet. And they're probably gonna be, probably around 10,000 feet or so, right? If you're cruising around the light airplanes. So, I would not say there's any typical altitude. You gotta keep your eyes open, and look for them.
Plus, there's a lot of the helicopters
Yeah.
that go to Gerald Champion and down to El Paso, and they typically go right over the highway here at 500.
Yeah, but they typically, at 500, they stay low at 500. But 500 feet actually out there is, when we're doing our pattern, is where we want.
Residents, you guys run on the south side, much that's the points down here near this area, really can see from the southwest.
I'm not sure
Not about ours. Where you guys, just where the president at, where they hang out, they're like holding the land. You know what I mean? Like I've seen you guys do orbits on the south side of the field. Yes, yeah. What? It's like CJ. Yes. So it's like our place, base here, so right on the north side, towards the south side. Where exactly they are. But yeah, we're in the tower. Trying to cross side, east. Yeah, that we need facility forward. That's even worse when they're, they don't see it, they don't see it, the TV screen that's showing it's right in front of them.
And they don't get help